La Bergamasca, a pleasant and rough-tongued enclave. There are charms and pleasures that characterize cities, and one of them is that their virtues are not as well known as they are to locals and residents. And that is the case of Bergamo, the capital of the Lombard Bergamasca. Bergamo is a small and little-known city in the north of Italy. Only 50 minutes away from Milan lies this tiny and quiet pearl, rich in history and attractions to be discovered. With just over 120,000 inhabitants, it's a strategic place to live rather than to explore. In reality, it's actually two very different cities merged into one. The first is called Citta Alta. The upper part of the city of Bergamo is the oldest as well as the most picturesque and romantic. It's a medieval borgo on the top of a hill, completely walled and immune to the passage of time. Strolling through its streets and alleys is like a sort of time machine. The tourists who usually enjoy Bergamo's Citta Alta are mostly Italian. Therefore, the local gastronomy doesn't aim at worldly palates. On the contrary, the gastronomy will be up to the task. The most modern part is in the lower town. A funicular connects the two parts of the city in less than 5 minutes. This is where modern everyday life takes place. The city itself is a combination of a thriving and very healthy commercial life and a vast industrial infrastructure of millions. The people of Bergamo have the reputation of not being extremely friendly, and in contrast to the rest of Lombardy, we are talking about a people with a past linked to the mountains and a rather rough life. They have their own dialect, which is quite dissonant and understandable to the novice ear. We're talking about mountain people who have adapted to a more comfortable and prosperous life in the city. But the wood and the customs of the roots remain a central part of the new Bergamo. The city, and the region in particular, was little or not at all affected by internal migration. That is to say, the new generations show no major intention of moving to other regions, either within or outside Italy. As far as immigrants are concerned, the most numerous are from Morocco. Latin American culture is also present, with the largest Bolivian community in Italy. In terms of multicultural integration, locals and foreigners coexist without difficulty, but they don't mix at all, favoring the emergence of social ghettos. Bergamo society is conservative and very poorly educated. In fact, the percentage of university graduates is among the lowest in the region. Lack of higher education perhaps explains the inclination towards religiosity. Perhaps this is the reason why these modern Highlanders are fervent Catholics, very attached to rites and customs that have fallen into disuse in other parts of the world. Bergamo is a very important center for religious tourism, and all those who profess Catholicism will be able to capitalize on this faith as a factor that will facilitate their social integration.
Fratelli e sorelle, in questa santissima notte, nella quale il Signore nostro Gesù Cristo è passato dalla morte alla
Bergamo's nightlife isn't too wild, but it's not insipid either. It usually starts with a short stroll through Citta Alta, and when the first stars come out, it moves to lower Bergamo. Safety and peaceful coexistence are fully guaranteed. What characterizes this evening is the classic Italian aperitif in the company of the smiles and friends. The city of Bergamo and its immediate periphery are ideal for those who want to establish themselves in a strategic location where they can build a prosperous and practical life. The advantages are many, including abundant sources of employment, proximity to Milan, rail and air connections, excellent public transport and roads, low real estate and living cost, etc. Healthcare is one of the strongest points. Its hospital is among the best in the world. In addition to the above, we must add a good public safety and the pleasure of living surrounded by beautiful natural landscapes. In the balance of pros and cons, the advantages definitely win out. The greatest difficulties to be faced are of a social nature. Bergamo will never make the first move, so it is entirely up to the person concerned to shorten the distances. The weather changes are quite interesting and include summers of 38 degrees Celsius, winters with -7 degrees Celsius, and in mountain areas even -15. Heavy snowfalls and impossible fogs. As the popular saying goes, a bad weather, a good face. It must have lots of good or bad things because it happens to be the place I chose to live with my family. There's nothing left to say except one thing. If you liked the video, please click on like, subscribe, and share this material with people who have the same or similar tastes and hobbies to yours. Because that's what life is all about. Sharing, trying to be happy, and eating pesto. It can be seen in the content that we have just left here for you, and also in videos that will be available shortly. See you soon. Bye.